As part of my monthly wrap up, I always like to go over all the books that I read and then write a little bit about them. This journal has been really helpful for me because I really like the short prompts and then it's also not making me feel overwhelmed. So I have to write about first the author and the title when I read the book. Then from there, I also rate the cover and explain why I give a cover that rating. From there, I also talk about why I chose this book, why I read another book by this author, write about the feelings that the book invoked in me. From there, I also write down passages that I read I really enjoyed. Then I talk about whether or not the book changed me, who would I like to share this book with, and then, or for like the audience, like who do I recommend it to? Why would I not recommend this book? I'd also explain my answer here. Would I reread it, yes or no? From there, I also give ratings whether I loved it, just okay, and didn't enjoy it. I actually really like this too because I don't have to think about 1 through 5. I know we typically work through 1 through 5, but I think just having these phrases also helps me to just be to the point. And so I really do think that this journal is something that I'm going to buy more of in the future. I'll let you know if I change, but for now, right now, I'm feeling pretty strong about it. It's my 3rd month using this book. Another part of my monthly research routine is going through my budget, and how I like to do so is through this. This right here I've been using since 2019. I log all my expenses for the month, as well as my earnings for the month and savings. I follow the 50-30-20 method, which is where you spend 50% of your earnings on things you must buy to survive, such as rent, utilities, just anything that comes in your way that you have to have, because if not, you would not be where you are safely, mentally, and emotionally, just things like that. From there, I also spend 30% on just things that I like, such as you can see right there, my Pop Mart figure. Because if not having that in my life, I would find a lot of the things that I do kind of really harsh and then wondering what I'm earning my money for. A lot of things to me feel so out of reach by living in America, especially in my state too. I live in California. Just things are just so expensive, and the more and more I live, the more and more I see that I can save a lot, but with just myself, it's impossible to have a house. Then 20% I do try to save for the future. It could be for emergency. The third thing I do to reset for the month is go through my hobbies journal. How did my low spend challenge month go? I think that it went okay. Ultimately, I didn't really change my spending habits. I was the same as usual. And there are actually a lot of reasons why it was the same as usual. One thing is I decided to do a daily vlog of my challenge from day 1 until the very end. And for me as a viewer, when I'm tuning into someone's channel, I think about the fact that if I'm watching the same thing over and over in terms of the setting and just them talking at the camera, it could be pretty boring. I found myself making excuses about why I should go buy things for the video, and that was a factor about why I did not do as well in my challenge. Another one is the fact that I think that I just got bored. I spend my money because I just want to have some fun, and that's why I make money in the first place. If it was all about business and just serious matters in the first place, I don't think I would enjoy life just as much. I kept my spending expenses pretty much the same as usual. Failed in buying certain things. I actually bought some video games because Steam had their spring sale, and even though my boyfriend gave me those gift cards, I decided to go buy some other things too. Stationery products on that yesterday, if you saw. And that was because I asked Denise, hey, could I buy this item? She told me yes. And that was just an excuse for me to get that okay from her and not to feel guilty about the challenge. I bought some other non-essential items that you can go ahead and watch in my daily videos about the challenge. I did buy a lot of gifts, which I don't mind because that was the one item that I gave myself a pass for. I did really well in terms of the fact that I did not go browsing in stores. I stayed away from Target, for example, Walmart, just different stores where I feel like I was just looking and then finding hopefully an excuse to get something to bring some joy for myself. Instead, I would just not go there at all. I would go home, use the products that I have, or just talk to people, talk to my family. That was really fun. I predicted that I would spend $300 on groceries this month, but because my mom and dad gave me food, I actually didn't have to buy anything. However, because I did not go grocery shopping, I did allow myself to eat out quite often, and I would get takeout. And that got me to around $290. But remember, when I buy food, it's not just for myself, I also like to treat my boyfriend too. But again, I feel like that's just me finding excuses to spend my money. I'm thinking, okay, buying him something is also okay for me then. We can enjoy the food together. I'm really good at making excuses to treat myself. That's why I am the way I am right now with my health. I'm doing okay, but I know that I could definitely do better with my health. That's why I thought it'd be really important for me to do this challenge. But again, I just faltered because over time, not only did I think about making the video interesting, I thought to myself, like, what was the point of me setting out these goals? Why did I really want to do the low spend challenge? So if I were to do this challenge again, I would actually post it on a poster or somewhere I could look at my goals every single day and I don't forget. Because once I put it away, I'm just thinking, it's not strong to me, and my motivation, it ebbs and flows, and I just don't have a system for that. When I do challenges, I kind of hesitate because I have this tendency where I don't take myself seriously. I take my own aspirations when it comes to jobs or just responsibilities that deal with other people more seriously than myself. To start taking myself seriously in anything that I do, and that's why I was also documenting myself. I did think this was a thing that went well with me, that I decided to go ahead and not stop, even when I knew that I failed on certain days of my challenge where I showed you me doing certain things, getting certain things, buying certain things. I just didn't falter, and I'm really proud because I have a tendency too that when I fail, I just stop. I don't want people to see my failure. It's really hard to be vulnerable, especially online. So would I do this challenge again? Knowing myself and how I'm currently structured, I don't think it's going to be beneficial until I do what I say I will, which is putting something on a poster or on a sticky note where I face it every day, what I want to exactly do. I need an actual routine, a structure for things. It shouldn't just be based on my motivation. My motivation has not gotten me very far in terms of my own personal goals. I think in terms of my professional aspirations, that's fine, that's dandy. I just need more accountability. That's just how I feel about my low spend challenge. What did you think about this month? Do you think that I did well? Do you think that I could have done better? Let me know down below in the comments, but these are my current thoughts right now. It was still fun to do it, and I'm so happy that I did it in the first place because, again, this is something that is out of my comfort zone, and I am just glad that I fulfilled something that I have been thinking about for quite a while. Now, here's a flip through of January, things that I really enjoyed. During that month, I learned to G-Dragon's power, and then I also watched a movie called Daddy's Home, played a video game called As Dusk Falls. It was amazing, and as you can see, I have notes here about it. Then I also documented Rune Factory 5, Squid Game Season 2, and then Dredge, Mashley, Magic, and Muscles Season 1. Shrinking Season 1, Castlevania Nocturne Season 2, Castlevania Seasons 3 to 4. Can't believe I did not watch that beforehand. Number 1, The Substance. That was the first movie I watched of that month. It was pretty graphic in some ways, but it was pretty comedic. I feel like the tone of the movie, they should have either decided it was going to be serious or going to be comedy. I still enjoyed it nevertheless. Over here, I have Cloverfield Paradox, and then I also wrote about that. The Thing 2011. I also wrote about Horrible Bosses, and I also wrote about Heretic. And then Spencer Confidential. Did not finish this movie, and that's fine. Villain Saga Season 2 was fantastic. And then here was the wrap up. I wrote about my feelings too. I documented that, how I felt in that month. And I also wrote how I watched 7 movies, I played 3 games during that time, and I watched 6 TV shows. And I just wrote down notes about what I need to do. So I applied to out of my life. I expect nothing. Things will go my way. I will do the best I can for me. It is my life. I keep repeating the same mistakes. I am not proud of myself yet. but I will not give up. You only lose when you have no more hope. And I still firmly believe in that message. Over here we have February, and during that time, this was the video game that I played, SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, Tavern Talk, and then Encore Lost Days, Summer Days, Fae Farm, Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, Friends of Mineral Town, Boss Level, Brave, The Grove, Nexomon Extinction, Graveyard Keeper, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In February, I watched 4 movies, I played 9 video games. These are my feelings, and I just wrote down another message for myself. Do not let anything stop me anymore. I have control over my anxiety. Let us continue to document my sleep to have better sleep quality. You're going to see that all my messages relates to my personal well-being and getting better at it. It is something that I always procrastinate. Anyway, enough about that. Let me just move on. Here we have March. March is pretty simple so far. I just started on it. I don't really have a vision yet. I'm now going to work on it though. Like I said, it's part of my reset routine. The last thing that I like to do as part of my reset routine is to determine what is my big goal or thing that I'm trying to accomplish this month. It helps center me and also does not make me feel overwhelmed, as I only write one thing down that I try to pursue. The first book I read this month was A Magical Girl Retires by Park Seo-yeon, translated by Anton Her. And I already posted my thoughts about this book in my reading vlog, which I'll link down below in the description. I did just want to show you how this book looks without the cover sleeve. It's just beautiful, and I do plan to keep this in my collection. I don't want to give this away, because these are things I just want to see for my rest of my life right now. Beautiful. The second book I read this month was If I Go Missing by Leslie Wolfe. If I Go Missing is about our character named Alana and how she feels really passionate about binders that are called If I Go Missing. There are information about what you find important in the event that you do go missing. The police can easily find you based on what you provide for them in the binders. But then when she gives an interview on these binders that she's so passionate about, people go missing, and now she needs to find the person that went missing, because if not, her life could forever change. And then I thought to myself, yes, I finally found a hit. I read the first chapter, but from there I was sorely mistaken. I was not taken into the book. In fact, I was taken out, and I could not wait to put the book down. The only reason why I forced myself to finish the book was because I did get this book for Valentine's Day. If I Go Missing had characters that I did not like either. A lot of them I could not really care for, and when I don't really care for the characters, I don't really enjoy the book as much. I could not wait to get to the end just so I could not have to be in this world anymore. None of the revelations that were given in this book were something that I was also surprised by. Lastly, if this book was 50 pages shorter, I thought to myself that this was not something that would be loss of value. I thought that some things could be taken away and the story would have been maybe just been as impactful to me. Or maybe I would have liked it more because it was shorter. Instead, it kind of just dragged and bored me. I give this book a 5 out of 10 stars due to all those reasons. What did you think? Did you like this book? And if so, why? The last book I read this month was Summer Hikaru Died, Volume 1 by Moku Moku Ren. In this volume, we have our character named Hikaru has unfortunately passed away by mysterious circumstances, and his friend, Yoshiki, is the only one that actually knows about it. Everyone in the small town assumes that Hikaru just went missing, but now he's fine, he's safe, that's all dandy, but things are just going to be foreboding throughout the whole book. You don't know what's going to happen, but you know something will ominously happen. I just really like this book because of the fact that you just kind of have to think about life itself and then the meaning of having your friend around, even if it's not them. Like, do you accept this new being? Do you tell someone about it? And so I just really like the story itself so far. And then I also want to show you lines that I enjoy. Here we have Yoshiki actually meeting a character that senses that something is wrong. And the character says, beating yourself up about all this only serves to ease the guilt you put on yourself. The dead don't care a lick. Fact of the matter is, we're the ones who are desperately clinging onto the dead. And that is so true to me and resonated with me. We, the living, have to constantly make meaning out of the ones that die, right? The ones that leave us behind. And I like another line in this book, which is right here. I'm not gonna give you the circumstances of what happened, but Hikaru just like really funny to me, and also I like the humor that he says. Hey, just noticed had this thing on all day and even went to club with it. Don't make me cuter than I already am. And just like the dynamic between the two of them, just is a strong bromance that could actually have been more had Hikaru still been living. It's like everything. Like this is why it's a 5 out of 5 for me. The last book I read this month was The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. It is about actually an imperfect marriage between Adam and Sarah Morgan. Adam is a failed author who constantly doubts himself due to the fact that he has nothing to the table now. Sarah is a provider. He is just someone that is just going through the motions in life, whereas for she is focused, she is beautiful, she is healthy. Sarah has it together. And she's also made it clear that Adam is no longer her priority as well. Hence why he decides to cheat on her. But one day, as he's cheating on her, he decides to leave the house early. And then when he leaves, his mistress is found dead. Who can he turn to? He decides to turn to his wife, Sarah. But, as you're going to find out from their two perspectives, not everything is as it seems. With that said, I am giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Although some of the writing was a page turner for me, where I did feel compelled to go through the whole book, I wanted to go ahead and dock off for several reasons. To me, Sarah's character is written inconsistently. I also did not see the ending coming due to the fact of how their perspectives were written. There weren't any clues, and I thought that that was pretty bad. When you're writing a book that is a murder mystery, the mystery should make sense when it unfolds, or when the mystery gets resolved or it is revealed. I'm taking a point off of this book because of the spice. It was unnecessary. Well, having one scene's fine. It really shows like the marriage or relationship. I get it, you know, how they interact. But for all those scenes, I don't think we needed it. It was excessive to me. I am, however, going to read The Perfect Divorce. I was engaged throughout the book, and even after finishing it, because of my misgivings, I was still compelled to think about it for the next few days. That is why I'm going to go ahead and still recommend this book, even though it is not perfect in all of its ways. I am definitely going to be reading The Perfect Divorce, which is a sequel to this book. Here are the 2 books that I plan to read in April. If you've already been following my channel for quite a while now, you will have seen these books. This one right here is called The House of the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I first bought this book a year ago, and the reason why I bought this book was because I made a Reddit post asking about what are some life-changing novels that you've read. Someone recommended this book to me, and so far I can definitely see why it could be life-changing. It follows this character named Linus Baker, who's always been by the book, follows all the rules without question, but as he's doing his current job, something happens at the orphanage, and it'll forever change him for the better. I can't wait to see his character development because I can see that Linus already has a heart, but he's just someone that's just been going through life and he's letting life win, but not anymore. I can't wait to see life become something that he's more into and something that he's just not letting life happen. This book right here, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix, is about women who are housewives, but they are really into a book club. And then in the book club, they just discuss books about true crime and such. And I can definitely see myself that if I was a housewife being part of this club. It's been really fun reading it. And then adding in the mix of vampires appearing, I cannot wait to see them step up because I can see that the moms here get things done. Those are my to-be reads for April. And this is kind of like my last hurrah because after this, I do not know if I'll be able to read more than one book or even a book with my master's program and my full-time job at the same time. Let me know down below in the comments whether or not you have read these books before. Have they been life-changing, something that you really enjoy, or are you like looking forward to hearing my thoughts? I would love to hear from you down below in the comments.